Hello friends, we are in the class for Master in Business Administration, second semester students, and the subject that we are going to do today is human resource management. The topic is labor turnover, causes and control. So let's get started. People are coming to the organization, working there and leaves the organization due to some or the other of the reason, which is a general practice that is there with each and every organization. People are coming, working for a certain period of time, and then leaving the organization. But what is labor turnover? Let us understand the definition of labor turnover. Labor turnover may be defined as the relation between the number of persons joining the organization and leaving due to resignation, retirement, or retrenchment to the average number of the payroll. It is known as labor turnover. Now, labor turnover arises because of two things: accession in the organization and separation from the organization. Now, what is accession? Accession is actually the addition of employees due to their appointment in the organization. Now, what is separation? Separation is separation of the employee from the organization due to any of the reasons which are mentioned as under. First is retirement or death of an employee. If an employee retires from the organization or dies due to some or the other of the reason, he gets separated from the organization. This is the first reason for separation. The second reason for separation is quit. When an employee resigns on his own from the organization, he quits the organization, and this is the another reason of separation from the organization for an employee. Now, third is layoff. Layoff, as we have discussed, when the employer removes an employee declaring him to be surplus. And there are certain other reasons of layoff also that we have already discussed in our earlier lectures. The fourth and the last reason of separation is discharge. Discharge is the termination of employee because he is found indulged in some poor performance or in some misconduct, or he may be discharged against a disciplinary action which is initiated because of some indiscipline caused by him in the organization. Now, cost of labor turnover. It is necessary to exercise control over separation, and also important to consider the number of persons leaving the organization because of different reasons. It becomes very necessary for an organization to understand the reasons why people are leaving the organization now or then. Management's job is to understand why labor turnover is going on. Moreover, it is the job of the management to keep the labor turnover at the lower degree because it involves preventive and replacement cost. Now, what is preventive cost and what is replacement cost? Let us understand. Preventive cost is the cost that incurred because of expenditure on personal administration, medical benefits, welfare facilities, retirement benefits, and compensation to the employees, right? So these are the certain expenditures which are being incurred on the employees welfare, including the compensation, medical, and others, on the base because of which we have this preventive cost. It includes, as I said, medical benefits, welfare facilities, as we have already discussed, retirement benefits and compensation, that is the salary packages that we are giving to the employees. Now, what is the replacement cost? Let's see. Replacement cost includes the cost of recruitment of the new employees, induction, training, loss of skills, and loss of output. Loss of skills and loss of output because of the people who have left the organization. Now, according to Flippo, the cost of labor turnover involves the following cost. The first cost which is involved is the procurement cost. It is the cost that involves time and facility for recruitment of the new employees, interviewing them, and finding out the replacement of the employee who have left the organization. Second is your Training cost involves the money spent on the supervisors or the person hired from the personnel department or the trainer from the human resource department in order to provide training to the worker need to be trained, because unless and until because till the time they will be trained, they will not be able to perform their work effectively. So that is the reason, in order to avoid wastage, the workers should be trained properly. Now, what is the third one? Third one is loss of production in the interval between separation of the old employee and replacement of the new. Till the time you have hired the new employee and trained the new employee, then only he will start contributing to the production of the organization. Till that time, particularly, there will be loss of production. Now, fourth is your pay of a learner is an excess of his productivity because he is learning and not contributing to the production of the organization. Now, fifth is the accident rates of new employees are higher as compared to the old employees because they are new to the organization and not very much aware about the proper handling of the machineries and equipments. Moreover, they need to be trained, particularly working in such kind of environment. That is the reason they are more prone to accidents, and a number of accidents may get improved with coming of the new employees. Next is your production equipment are not fully utilized during the procurement and training period of the new employees, because when the new employees are procured and trained, till that time production they cannot use effectively the production equipment, and moreover till the time they are trained, and time in between procurement and training of the employee will not the employee will not be able to contribute to the production process of the organization, and thus the productivity but thus they are not the part of production process of the organization in this time interval. Next is your scrap and waste increases when new employees are involved, because they are under the training phase and they are under, in fact, under the learning phase, and they need some time to get acquainted with their work. Till the time, the rate of wastage will be high. Now, the next is your overtime pay. Overtime pay, because when new employees are coming and they are under training, they will not be contributing to the production process, but the process cannot get stopped. So in order to keep the production going, you will be making your existing employee to do the overtime, and for this overtime you will be paying them wages on the basis of rate of overtime, which is usually double than the normal rate of wage that you are paying to your employees. So it will be increasing the financial burden on the organization. Now, causes of labor turnover. Employees either leave by their own or they are discharged by the organization. In both the cases, it is necessary to understand the reasons why this is happening. Every separation of employee from the organization, whether voluntary or involuntary, is a serious issue for the organization, and the organization should try to find out the reasons behind this separation of the employees. Management should study the causes which are behind the labor turnover, whether it is voluntarily or whether it is involuntarily. From the control point of view, the causes of labor turnover can be of two types: avoidable causes and non-avoidable causes. Now, let us understand the avoidable causes of separation. Now, avoidable causes of labor turnover may be summarized as under that you can see on the slide. These are the causes which are under the control of the management, and management can easily exercise the control, and these causes are only because of the management is responsible for these causes, and these causes can be controlled by the management effectively. Coming down to the avoidable causes, the first cause is redundancy, which may be because of seasonal characteristic of industry, shortage of material, improper planning, lack of management foresightedness, etc. The second point talks about bad working conditions. If you are providing bad working conditions in the organization, then the employee will feel frustrated, and he will not be able to work properly in the bad working condition. He can adjust for a period of time, but in the longer run it becomes very difficult for the employee to adjust in such kind of conditions. So you should be improving the working conditions to good working conditions. Otherwise employee will try to find out certain better opportunity for him or her. Third is your dissatisfaction. This dissatisfaction may be due to n number of reasons, and these reasons may be some of them that you will be studying on this slide in the points to come. And this dissatisfaction may be due to supervisors, due to salaries, due to incentives, due to promotions, due to transfers, due to shift, due to any other things, many other things. And some of the reasons for dissatisfaction may be one of them. Another avoidable cause is your long hours of work and lower remuneration. If you are making your workers and employee to work for long hours, moreover you are providing them low rate of remuneration, then who would like to stay in your organization? So if you are making them to work for long hours, you should be giving them certain welfare facilities also. And moreover, if they are doing overtime, you should be paying with the overtime rate. And along with that, you should be paying them properly as per the standards of the industry. Their salaries and wages should be determined. Next point is your lack of any absent incentive schemes and promotional avenues. Every employee need to be rewarded if he is performing his job well, and after performing job well for a considerable period of time, as per the norms of the organization, employees also expect to be promoted to senior positions. And in absence of incentive and promotion schemes, the employee will get frustrated of his job and will definitely lose interest in the job and try to find out certain better option where incentive and promotional opportunities may be available for the employee. Now, next is poor relationship with supervisors and fellow workers. It is very necessary that the employee should be having good relationship with the supervisor and the fellow workers. If he is not having good relationship with the supervisors and fellow workers, it becomes very difficult for the worker and the employee to sustain in the organization, and he will, when he will not be able to survive, socialize in the organization, he will not be able to survive in the organization. Thus, good relationship in between superiors, subordinates and peers are necessary for an employee to stay in the organization. Next is your ineffective grievance procedure. If an employee is having any grievance, he should be having a proper system to redress that grievance. And if that grievance procedure is not there, where the employee will get his grievance registered. Therefore, it is necessary that there should be a grievance redressal system, and that grievance redressal system should be listening to the grievance of employee carefully and should get it redressed at the earliest. Next is your inadequate housing, medical and welfare facilities. If you are providing housing facilities, certain medical facilities or certain other welfare facilities like canteen, crashes, recreational facilities, etc., all of them should be maintained. They should be in a proper shape and should be provided to the employee adequately and proper time and in proper form. Otherwise, employee will feel demotivated and his morale will go down, and ultimately what will happen, employee will get upset of it. Next is your faulty selection of employees and lack of proper training programs. If you have not selected the right person for the right job, you will find that employee will find him totally uncomfortable on that particular job. So it is necessary on your part that you should be selecting the right person for the right job. Moreover, when you select an employee, you should be providing training to the employee so that at least employee may be able to learn those skills that he need to have in order to perform his job well, and employee will feel confident on his work. Now, the last point, lack of safety and safety measures. You should be providing all those safety measures which are being made mandatory by the labor law, and moreover, you should also be providing all those safety measures that you or your trade unions or your employees thinks necessary to be there in the organization for the purpose of their safety. This not only keeps the employee safe, but also increases the level of confidence of employees on the organization and will reduce the number of accidents in the organization. Now coming to down to the unavoidable causes. Unavoidable causes are the causes which are not due to the fault of the management, but they are due to certain other factors which are not under the control of management. These unavoidable factors include the following. Number one is personal betterment. Personal betterment, every employee and worker in the organization is looking for personal betterment, and you should be providing opportunities for personal betterment to your employees and workers in the organization, so that they may be able to get opportunities for growth and development. Next is your domestic affairs, marriage, pregnancies in case of females employer, marriage, pregnancy. These kind of issues are very important in one's life. You should be dealing with these kind of issues properly. You should be providing proper leave with pay to the employees whenever such kind of situation occurs, as per the norms of the organization, or as per the labor law, as stated in the Indian Maternities Act. Like, you should be providing 6 months leave to the women who is on the way, on the family way, particularly 3 months before the pregnancy and 3 months after the pregnancy. Moreover, if your certain employee is getting married, you should be providing him leave with pay, so that at least marriage is a one-time affair in a person's life, and which is very important for in one's life. So you should, as an organization, you should be having a human attitude towards all these issues. Next is your illness, accidents, etc. If an employee fall ill, or he met an accident, then he should be dealt with properly. He should be provided with proper facilities, or he should be provided with he should be provided with all those benefits what he is entitled to under this kind of situation. Next, or the fourth, is your departure from the locality. If an employee is getting departed from the locality, he should be provided with proper transportation, so that he may able to shift his entire stuff easily as per the norms of the organization. Or if you have certain other provision for the employees, in such case he should be provided with those. Next is your unsuitable for job, or unsuitable for job or misconduct on his part. If an employee is found to be indulged in some misconduct, then too, if proper actions should be taken, and these actions should be strictly in accordance with the established procedures. An employee should be given a chance in order to express himself. His part should also be listened to carefully before taking any action. Next, housing or transport problems. If an employee is having certain housing problem or transportation problem, if possible, that these should be taken care of. Nowadays, most of the organizations, particularly the multinational companies, are providing a door-to-door pick and drop facility. For that, they are charging a certain nominal amount of money, but this facility is really excellent, particularly as far as big cities are concerned. Now, next is your retirement, death, etc. Employees should be provided with the retirement benefit. Whenever he retires, he should be provided with the death benefit, or employment should be provided to the dependents of the deceased person, if it is in accordance with the policies of the organization. So, but retirement and deaths are not under the control of organization, right? Retirement is because of age, and death may be due to any of the reasons. So these are some factors which are not directly under the control of organization. So that is how they are the unavoidable factors. Now, control of labor turnover. How can we control the labor turnover? Let us understand them. There are different causes of labor turnover that we have studied, but these causes we have to understand, and we have to exercise a control over these causes if we want to control our labor turnover. Now, exit interview is the best way to understand the causes or the reasons why an employee is leaving the organization. The causes should be investigated by asking fellow employees of the employer with whom the person leaving was having good relationship, and he or she was frank with him. The opinions or the interview of such person should also be considered, particularly in order to investigate the causes or to find out the reasons why a person has left the organization. Now, remedial measures should be taken after understanding the reasons or causes for behind which are responsible for an employee to leave the organization. And actions should be taken in order to reduce the labor turnover, which is avoidable, and all those reasons which can be controlled and which are not justified, because of which the people are leaving your organization, should be taken care of seriously. Now, labor turnover should be reduced by proper planning of manpower requirements, so that there should not be any redundant employee. You should be taking only that amount of employees that you require. You should not either be hiring surplus of employee, or you should not be hiring employees in shortage. You should be employing or hiring only that number of employees which you are needing or which you are in need of. Now, certain remedial measures that involve controlling over the labor turnover includes: number one, introduction of a satisfactory wage plan. If you are having a satisfactory wage plan and you are paying the wages and salaries to the employee by following that particular plan, so the employees will be more satisfied, the employees will be satisfied and will continue with your organization, and your labor turnover rate will be less. Second is your introduction of proper incentives and promotion plan, because everybody wants to be rewarded for his good performance and want to get promoted to higher position with the passage of time. So you should be having proper incentive and promotion plans or schemes for your employees in order to keep them motivated and keep their morale high. Third is adoption of sound personal policy in relation to recruitment, selection, placement, training, etc. Recruitment, selection, placement, training, etc. For these, you need to have a predetermined system, and things should move on in the right direction following that predetermined system, because it's necessary, right, to have a established procedure for all these activities. Fourth point is provision for reasonable amenities and welfare measures as provided by the Indian Factories Act and other acts which are there in the labor laws. You should be providing the welfare facilities and amenities, because those are compulsory. Moreover, if you can provide with certain additional facilities, of course, which you can afford to have, you should be providing those welfare facilities and amenities to the employer. It will not only motivate the employer, but always keep their spirit high. They will always ready to contribute their best to the organization. Fifth point, or the E point, is setting up machinery for ascertaining the causes of grievances and redressing such grievances. You should be having a proper grievance redressal mechanism for the employees, so that the employee should be having a right place where they can register their grievance and get that grievance rectified. Otherwise, this grievance will take a very big shape and it will be dangerous for the organization as a whole. F is provision of retirement benefits. If an employee is retiring, he should be entitled for all those retired benefits which are there as per the labor laws, and those benefits should be provided to him at the earliest, at the time of his retirement, without any delay. Next, G, provision of proper channels of communication to improve the morale of the employees. You should be communicating with the employees properly, and there should be predetermined established channels for communicating with the employees, because if unless and until you communicate with the employee, you will not be able to build morale of the employee. So in order to build high morale of the employee, it is necessary to communicate with the employee on a regular basis. This will keep the morale of the employee high, and you will be having a deeper and better understanding of your employees. Next, H, improvement of quality of supervision. The quality of supervision should be such that employees should be having this space to breathe in, And supervision is nothing like that, that you should be having always standing with a stick on head of employee. Employee should be given space. Supervision should be such that employee should not feel frustrated with that supervision. So the degree of supervision should be such, should be that strict as should not be as strict as it becomes a burden on the employee. So this is all about the measures, how can we control the labor turnover. And with this, thank you very much.